Happy Flosstube Friday, friends. My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode number 81. Yay! Welcome. I have missed you. I didn't intend to take a 2 Friday off vacation. Not really a vacation, lots of stories, but here I am back on Flosstube Friday. And oh my goodness, the stories to tell when you were gone for 3 weeks. Whew. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Today my channel is mainly about cross stitch and quilting and knitting and hooking and all the things that have to do with fiber and textile and all the things. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Settle in, friends, because it's going to be a ride today. Now, normally, if you've been around for a while, you know I love to start with a good table of contents to give you a little like what you're in store for. Spoiler, today I'm not running a table of contents because I'm afraid that I'm going to have to cut some things out. I am not looking to make an Avatar length movie for you, but my 2-page long list makes me fearful that I might chat for 2 hours, 3 hours, and that's too much. So I don't want to spoil anything and tell you that I'm going to talk about something, but then in the middle of the movie decide I'm going to push that to next week. So we're just going to go along for the ride. I'm going to start my storytelling, watch the clock, see where we are, and at some point we're just going to take a pause. We don't know. We're just going to go with it. It's going to be great. It's a totally different way for me to do Flosstube. I'm excited for it. We shall see. But let's just talk. So, like I said, normally I dive into the table of contents. I'm kind of flustered when I'm not going to review that. But we're just going to make it through. So hopefully you've got your stitching, something fantastic and cozy to drink. And let's settle in with some story time of what the heck has Tiger Lily been doing for almost 3 weeks now. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Okay, so as you know, I went to we're just going to start at the beginning. At the beginning, once upon a time, I was lucky enough to secure a seat at Miss Chantels 141 Pep Rally. Okay, hold on. Okay, yes. So we're just going to start at the Pep Rally. And yes, I did bring home the hot pink pom-pom. First of all, we're going to be all over the place. Hot pink pom-poms, you know I love it. And of course, okay, so if I say the Pep Rally, I have to look at the cute, 141. This was the logo that her daughter designed. So cute. So this was one of the swags that came with it. Okay. So like I said, we're just going to be all over the place. It's kind of like pinball floss tube with Kari today. I'm going to try to stay on a road, on a path and not zig and zag. But I can't promise you because I kind of zig and zag a lot. We're just going to go with it. But let's start with some stitching because it's floss tube. And I know story time is fun and hopefully you're excited about it and you're going to stick around for it. But if you're not and you're just like, I want to see some stitching, let me show you some stitching first because it's been a hot minute and I've got some to show. We're just going to go big. Start with a bang, friends. So if you remember a couple weeks ago, way more than a couple weeks ago because it's been 3 weeks since I was here. So a hot minute ago, we went through my big girls and we talked about what I was going to do. Sampler September. It's still Sampler September. I feel like that started years ago. And I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? All the things. And at some point, I think I told you guys, I don't think it was just an Instagram thing, but I told you guys like I had a goal, hashtag goals. And so let's just review. I am going to show you stitching, I promise. So this was my project keeper from January. And as you remember, my friends, I always start a big girl on my birthday. And so January 31st, I started Miss Harriot Hay. Gorgeous. Mill and the Floss samplers. Now, side note, a couple of my friends saw when we were sitting around the table, Pep Rally. Listen, I've oohed and awed about, I can't show you the chart. Well, let me just... Right? Okay, I've oohed and awed about this chart. It is fantastic. It's a beautiful book, full color. Boxes are big. Love it. Love, love, love the construction. Like this is the gold standard, in my opinion, on how you do a cross stitch big girl sampler. It is easy peasy to read. Anyway, Harriet Hay, beautiful book. Beautiful sampler. I did a full color conversion. Here is my Tiger Lily tracker card. So I'm stitching mine on 16 count LFA Boston Tea Party. It's charted in Aubert Soise and DMC. I did a full Tiger Lily custom floss overdyed conversion. That was all listed on the tracker card. This was, so of course I love to do a sal. So these are all my stitchy friends that are joining me on my birthday sal. The hashtags were Harriot Hey and Tiger Lily B-Day sal. Okay, so spoiler, like my goal about a week and a half before going to Chantels Pep Rally was head down, blinders on. I want to ring the bell. Now, come to find out, there was no bell. There was pom-poms, and I'm okay. Hot ping pom. Okay. Yep, I can do that. Yeah. But my goal was to finish at the retreat. Now, if you remember, I stitched to this big red house. I brought this to StitchCon totally empty, ready for red fill-in. And I don't remember if I finished the whole thing at StitchCon or if it was when I came home and it was bedridden with COVID for a while after StitchCon. So it's really still connected to StitchCon. But the red house has huge StitchCon memories, right? My first retreat, so exciting. So I was like, how great would it be if I was able to finish? Spoiler, obviously, if you saw the thumbnail. So Miss Harriet Hey. Now, I know, first thing you're saying is, you're not done. You're not, what? Okay, yes. Don't get me. Don't get me. There is an over one saying, and it says, I have done this to let you see what care my parents took of me. When I am dead and in the grave, I hope the piece of work you have. Doesn't rhyme. 1809, Harriet Hey sampler. Okay, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I am of the school of thought regarding samplers to make it my own. It is going to hang on the wall in my house. Obviously, I changed all the colors anyway. And so I just found the, what I'm going to quote. It's a beautiful quote. I don't remember it. Spoiler, I'll tell you about it later. But I knew I wanted to do, that was over one stitching. I don't do over one on 16 count. It's not my brand. So, and I wanted to chart something else, kind of like I did with Mary Morgan's. I did a totally different quote of my own. And so I just found the quote I'm going to use. And so I just have to chart it and put it in this space. But otherwise, Miss Harriet is complete. Oh my goodness. Now, so let's just talk about a couple of the changes. If you're stitching Miss Harriet and you're here for it, let me just show you some of the changes I made. Like I said, I change samplers. Sometimes I change them on purpose. Sometimes I change them because I'm not a good accounter. But either way, I'm here for it. And I love the way she turned out. First of all, can we just oogle over this LFA linen 16 count Boston Tea Party? Gorgeous, gorgeous. So a couple of the things I changed. So like I said, I changed the colors. We talked about that. And I also changed the symbol. Okay, for example, these two trees, mine are green. On the chart, one's brown and one's green. Like I said, it wasn't a color for color comparison. So as I was going around, I did make some artistic changes. Like I wanted my trees to be green. I didn't want a brown tree. There was already enough brown. There was already a little too much brown for my taste anyway. I'm a colorful person, in case you couldn't tell. I'm here for the color. Brown is obviously has its place in the world. The trunk of a tree needs to be brown. You can't make it purple or pink. But a tree in my world is green. So I changed these to green. And then down here, these two flower pots, one of them was charted in a green color and one of them was brown. Well, I didn't want brown. So I don't remember which one I changed. One of them I changed and I just pulled from my stash. As you can tell, when I kitted this up at my LNS, I was an aggressive buyer of the floss because these are my floss that I have left. I have learned that lesson. If you've been around for a while, you know I've run out of 2 overdyeds on a different big girl, and now I can't find the same overdyed colors, although my sweet friend from who works at the attic says that she hid some old Oranginas. I need to call today on my list. She hid some Oranginas, old ones for me in the back. So I need to call and get those coming on my way to them. On their way to me. Words. Okay, so those are the big changes I made. Otherwise, if you see something different, it's because I messed up. Or I did a creative counting and I'm okay with it. Love the peacock. Love this funky bird. This is my jam if you know, you know, I love a big animal in relationship to a house. So fun. Love this pink flower. Love these urns. So fun. And of course, funky birds. Oh, I think I changed some of the colors here. There was brown. One of these things, brown. Anyway, so I finished this at Chantels. We got there the first night, and there was some stuff to do. Now, story time. I mean, the whole thing is the story time, right? Okay, so Chantels Retreat had beautiful pre-stitch. Now, I did do some of my pre-stitch, but I might have not been stitching. I might have been a bad student in class. So let's talk about that. So when you're at the Chantels Retreat, beautiful Kathy Haberman from Hands On Design was the beautiful guest designer who came, and she was teaching us a class. So there was a gorgeous pre-stitch. Let me show you. If you haven't, I mean, like lots of my stitchy friends have already showed it. Spoiler, let me show you. Not done. Love the board. Chantel, like, I don't even want to say, you know, hit it out of the park, but oh my goodness. First of all, the quilty stars and the stain and the lines and everything about this board is everything. Like, I just want to look at the board. So this is my retreat piece. Not done. That's because I was a bad student, and I'm just gonna own it. It is what it is. And of course, I did not iron this piece for you. I ironed my beautiful finish. But so I got close. Listen, let me show you. You know, and it came with all the things. And so there was this, and there's beautiful rickrack from Miss Lady Creates and all the things. So in true Tiger Lily fashion, I showed you this before, and of course, the needles that came, and then the beautiful, you know, pearl cotton that came. Oh, here we go. This is the chart, and this is what it's supposed to look like if it's finished. So you can go to my sweet friend Jessica has finished hers successfully. Jody, Simply Stitching Ocala, Sarah from Stitchy Friends, lots of friends got the A+ in class and are finishing their stitch. Kari, Tiger Lily, did not get an A, and I'm okay with it. I got A's in school. I did that. I checked that box already. So as you can see. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I was going to say, I know I did one row of specialty stitches. Now, so the class was fantastic. First of all, just being in the room with Kathy and all of her knowledge and all the things beautiful. So you're supposed to learn 3 different specialty stitches. The rice, the herringbone, and I forget what the third one is called. This one, whatever this one is, because that's the one I did. So right here, you can see whatever that is. That stitch, that one. So I switched, but my fabric is not the colors. Everybody else's, they use the called for fabric is Driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie. It's gorgeous. I ordered the linen. It was a little too hard and dark for me to see as a new adventurous linen stitcher. So I went back to my safety. This is a 16 count, picture this plus heritage. It's green. It's still, in my world, in my opinion, it still speaks fall to me. So I did, because I changed the colors of the fabric, I changed the colors of the floss. Of course I did. I changed them all to an overdyed collection. I stayed in the spirit of autumn. I had my pre-stitch almost done, right? So this was all done, and there's supposed to be specialty stitches here, which I did that row. I did not do this row. I forget which one, herringbone I think was here. And then there's a rice stitch here, and then this floral motif at the top. I didn't do either one of those things. All gorgeous. Like I said, lots of beautiful friends have finished theirs. They're gonna look gorgeous sitting around their house, their little autumnal vignettes. But I had hashtag goals for this retreat, and I wasn't enjoying the specialty stitches as much as I wanted to. I was just enjoying the people. Let's just be honest. For a retreat, to me, it's about the people. I mean, Kathy is gorgeous and beautiful, and I'll show you some of the other things. Like, spoiler, love it. Everything Chantel did was great. Oh, I totally forgot to bring down my sweatshirt. She gave us so much swag. It's unbelievable. but like that stand was set up with the candle, and then there was candy and the pom-poms, and then there was a sweatshirt that said like had the Pep Rally logo on it. So great. So much goodness. And then Kathy, like, we're going to get to it. But the specialty stitches weren't speaking to me. And this is my hobby, and I want to do what I love. And so instead, I sat there during class and worked on Miss Harriet. And I'm okay with it. Kathy was sweet and supportive of us. She was great. She walked around to each of the tables, which was amazing to me. So it was a situation where she stood in front of the class, in the auditorium, at the gym, at the pep rally, and was teaching like, this is how you do this, and look at your, but she gave us very thorough directions, right, in paper form. But then she would walk around to each of the 20, we were table 19. So I think there were like 21 tables. So she would walk around to each of the tables and talk to each unbelievable. And make sure, like, are you getting it? Is any questions? Can I help you? Fantastic. Like, beyond. And so she was super supportive when she would come around to our table. And of course, my friends were being such good students and doing what the instruction that was just given. And then you do this, and they were doing that. And Kari was not. I had Miss Harriet because I was just blinders on. I wanted to go home with the finished Harriet. And so she was just like, okay, so that's okay. You do you. And your sampler's gorgeous. So sweet. So sweet. So that is how I finished Miss Harriet, because I failed at the class, and I'm okay with it. I do have plans. To be honest, I'm probably not going to put it on my board. I think that hopefully I'll show you at some point when that's going to happen. When I need to plan like a finishing marathon. I can't even call it a day. I think it's going to be way longer than a day. 2, 3, 4, I don't know, weekend, 3-day marathon. Finishing marathon is what I need to plan. And so I have a different finishing idea for this, and I'm super excited about it. I'll share it with you one day when it gets done. I know I do need to put something here. I'm not putting the herringbone stitch. My sweet friend Nicole from Nicole Spore. If you don't know, you need to go follow her. I will link everybody I'm talking about down below. So these are all lots of my stitchy friends. Like I said, that's really what a retreat is about for me. But Nicole had a gangbuster idea, and I'm like, check. Rather than do the herringbone stitch, which didn't speak to me, I'm going to put vintage buttons here. Yep. Fantastic. Check. Great idea. But I'm not going to put it on the board. I'm going to do something with it, different with it. And I'm kind of excited about it. You'll see one day. So that was part of the retreat. So let's just talk about some of the other things. Like I said, all over the place. But another one of the pieces that we got at the retreat, which was fantastic, was during the pre-stitch, we got this beautiful box that Chantel made. And of course, I didn't bring my box over. I haven't done anything for it, but it's adorable. And it's like this stitchy notion, stays at home. I don't know, like this big a box. I should have brought it over. But it was super. It was an unfinished box that was in your pre-stitch shipment that she sent out for you. It was just a little gift. And she's like, it's just a gift. I don't have anything. Well, everybody's wheel, Kathy and Chantel's wheels were turning. Once we're like, what are we supposed to do with this box? She's like, well, maybe. Yes. She did another stitch. So this was another exclusive chart that she gifted the class, the retreat attendees. Enjoy the stitch. So this goes on the top. So this is Chantel's box. It's hard to tell. It looks kind of like a black frame in the photo, but this is Chantel's box. And this is the pin pillow that goes inside the box. It's adorable. So that was one of the gifts from Kathy that, or in Chantel really, that was part of the retreat. Fantastic. And then the last one, above and beyond, was this sweet. Now, I have all the Polar Plunge. Recognize this shape? This is the Polar Plunge ornament shape that Chantel and Kathy designed. And you put your stitch on this board, and then you attach it to this board after you put the paper on it's all in here, except for your fabric and your floss. But the finishing is all ready to go. So you've got the board. This scrapbook paper goes right here. You decoupage it on this MDF board ornament, and then you put your stitching on that, and then it looks like that when you're done. I mean, how adorable is this. And it's so quick, like lickety split, I think. Super cute. I just love. And so we learned, you know, part of the class was, the whole thing was not only specialty stitches, it was also a finishing class. You learned how to lace, you learned how to apply rickrack so it looked like this. I won't give away all the secrets. You know, I'm sure Kathy has a couple videos where she shows you some of these things online, but that was, you know, that was part of the class. So I did hear all the instruction, you know, maybe some of it absorbed, but I'm so excited about this stitch and that stitch. And it was just fantastic. So fun. So we'll just have a little bit of retreat story time, and then I promise there's more stitching. So story time. So the retreat, I flew in. Hold on, let me remember. I flew in on Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday. So I got there Thursday. My flight was a little delayed. We sat on the tarmac here at DC for a while, you know, weather. But I got there and I Ubered right to the Mexican restaurant where all the girls were. And we had, got to see everybody and hug everybody and see all the things. And then we went over and had a meet and greet on Thursday night at the retreat location. The retreat location was bonkers awesome. It was in the Williamstown, Michigan. I'm not quite sure exactly how you pronounce it. I call it Chantels Mayberry because in my world, listen, I am from Northern Virginia, born and raised in Northern Virginia, spent some years in Clemson and then came back. And so I am used to Northern Virginia, like hubbub. If you've been here, you know, it's an experience. There's lots of people that live here. They're everywhere. Lots of traffic. That's just what I know. I go to this Mayberry and it is like plucked out of a movie or out of the TV show. It is adorable. Like to me, I mean, I'm trying to be naive. Like even Clemson's bigger than this place. So it's so cute. So in this little town, the retreat location was inside the old gym for the high school that has now been turned into a community center. And so it's got 3 levels and woodwork everywhere. It's just gorgeous. And so this auditorium was set up, like I said, there was a meet and greet on Thursday night, and then we went back to the hotel, and some of us had some stitching nights. We had like down in the hotel lobby, we were stitching Thursday night because we'd all just flew in from Florida, lots of Florida, and Kansas, and like we were all just like together in the stitching room downstairs, right? And so I'm working on Harriot Thursday night. I got Harriet, and you know, Jessica and Jody are like, you think you're gonna finish that? Yes, I'm gonna do it. I mean, at that point, I thought there was no way on God's green earth I was going to get this thing done because there was a crap ton left to do. But so then Friday morning, we all meet down at breakfast and do all the things. And we're over getting into the room at 8 o'clock. And you go in and it's gorgeous. Chantel and her team have the tables set up with our stands and our pom-poms and the candles and the candy and the stuff and the swag. And it's like a big party. And so we all go in and I'm at table 19. And, you know, so at table 19, it's me, Nicole, Jessica, Alicia, Felicia, and Jody. So, like I said, I will list everybody down below in case you don't know. Yeah, everybody except for Felicia doesn't have a YouTube. Flosstube, why not? Hop on that. But she's Floss and Blocks. She has a Etsy shop. Jody, Stippling Stitching Okawa, Flosstube. Nicole is Nicole Spore, Flosstube. Jessica, Sweetwater. And Alicia's Fancy Flamingo. So those are the friends. It's table 19 and we're all, and I think class starts with Kathy at like 9 or 10 o'clock. We like jump right in, deep end, do it. And so she teaches the specialty stitches and then we break for lunch. It's all we just have fun. To be honest, I feel like it was years ago. So I'm trying to remember all the things we did. And I'm not going to give you a play-by-play. But the moral of the story is so much fun. We would walk. The great thing about this Mayberry is once you're at the gym, so you have to drive from the hotel to the location, which is different than some retreats, but it was perfect. And so we went there, and then, but once your car is parked at the gym, Mayberry is totally walkable. So from the gym, you could walk to the grocery store, which had the Starbucks, and a full, like, we got like cut fruit and danishes, like grocery store, cute, adorable. And then down around the corner is Chantel's fantastic shop. It like is so cute. Chantel's fantastic shop. And then there's like 2 or 3 restaurants that we ate at, lunch, dinner, a coffee shop, a bakery, some antique stores right here on this main street that literally like 5 cars drove down. It was totally walkable, totally the cutest thing ever. Like I can totally see, love it. Love it. And so we went down we ate on the main street, a Greek restaurant, like an American restaurant. Her husband made the tables at this American restaurant, Chantel's husband, who's a woodworker. It was the cutest thing. It was like going into her world, and I loved everything about it. It was so much fun with all the girls. And so, first of all, so she also, in her shop, she had, of course, everything that she makes, which is wood gorgeous, right? All your finishing, anything you'd ever need for finishing, Chantel has got it in spades. And then she brought in vendors. So she had project bag vendors, and she had this felt applique vendor, the sweater, so much cute. And then of course, Fabrics by Stephanie was there with her linen and her Ada, so many goodness. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the haul I got. I didn't buy any finishing goods because I knew that I was flying and my suitcase, I had other things going in my suitcase, and we're going to get to that story. So I did get these boat makers because this was small and tiny and cute. But all the other finishing goodies, I knew I could just add to cart and she would ship them to me later. But I got to see all the eye candy and take pictures. It was so fun. So many ideas, and it just is so easy to finish your items with Chantel's boards. And there's boards and paddles and ornaments and things and displays and amazing. I'm so excited. Like, yay for her. I'm so excited. So, and I did get 2 pieces of fabric from Fabrics by, I feel like I got 3. Where the third one is, I might have put a new start on it. I think I did. We're going to talk about it, I think. But I got 2 linens. Yes, I know I'm an Ada stitcher. Don't get mad. But I'm expanding my I have an Ada collection. My stash of Ada is deep. And so if I'm going to expand my linen stitching, just, 1 piece at a time, I wanted to have some things in stash. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I love my Christmas ornaments on the green are really pretty right now. So this is called Spanish Moss by Fabrics by Stephanie. It's just a gorgeous evergreeny green. And then this was called Angel Wing. Oh, so sweet. It's just a very light gray. It's got a blue undertone kind of gray to it versus a brownie gray. So it's nice and fresh, and it lets those bright colors pop. So I got 2 pieces of 36 count linen as I was touching and feeling and doing all the things there. So as I'm just going through this stack of stuff. So my sweet friend that I met for the first time, Miss Pam Brown, she brought me this sweet little frog. I'm so excited to finish one of my Liz Mathews trees. I had talked about in a floss tube. I hadn't been able to find a frog, so she brought one of those to me from Georgia. So thank you, Miss Pam. And then my sweet friend, Felicia, Miss Flamingo, as I like to call her, she told me she was going to bring me a spool. Now, this spool is adorable. And I did bring, and I did this morning, I was like, I'm just going to see. So I've got a plan. So I told you I was in the search for one of these things, and she's like, wait a minute, hold the phone. I might have you. So if you remember, hold on, sorry about that. I had finished this sweet little stitch. This was my Stitch Con stitch. It is the tiniest little thing. It's only about 2 inches tall when you fold it up and such. There it is. That's 2 inches, friends. Let me see. 2.5. 2.5 inches. That is the height folded up right now. So that is a tiny little thing. I forget what this thing, Nightshade Bird by Plum Street. Yes. So I have passed this chart on to Miss Felicia so she can stitch it with me or stitch it as well. So what I'm thinking is I have to bump it up, with the spool. obviously this is, but if I bump this up a little bit with some kind of cushion, batting, I've got no shortage of batting, so I just need to make it a little thicker. It doesn't need to be as thick as the width of the spool top, but a little thicker. And how gorgeous, ready? I'm just going to show you for you so you can imagine. Is that going to be? I'm just going to tell you. It's going to be the cutest ever. So this was perfection, Miss Felicia. Look at that. I couldn't have planned it any better, really. So I'm super excited. So like I said, I just need to add some batting. If I make it just that thick, it'll be perfect. And then I need to teach myself, which I've never made before. I mean, I could go and find a vintage, but get a little vintage tomato and put that right here on the top. That's the finishing plan, starting with my sweet little spool gift. So I'm excited. So one day, that'll be in my finishing marathon too. So many things. So many things. Let's jump into some new stitching. I feel like I've story told for a while. Let's look at some more stitching, shall we? Okay, so let's just start with some of the pieces that I've gotten maybe some progress on it since I've showed it to you last. This is my pumpkin house bag. Remember, this is I folded it up because it was in a mini keeper when I took it to the retreat. It is now back in its bag. This is the pumpkin house from HelloFromLizMathews. If you remember, I am doing I did a Forbidden Fiber Co. full overdyed cotton conversion on my own. So this needs... So you can get this. I will link this down below. I think it was sold out, but I think Leanne is going to restock that conversion so people can add to it if they want. Hold on, let me get my board because it's so much fun to show you more on the board. So I have made lots of progress on this since the last time I showed you. I sure would love to get this finished and fully, but this is where I am on the pumpkin house. Oh my goodness. This is the cutest stitch ever. Like I said, I did a full Forbidden Fiber Co. Is it on a ring so I can show you? It is on a ring, yay. So I brightened it up as Tiger Lily does. So there's some cute, so you see the pumpkins. Let me tell you the fabrics in case you want to know. Let me reference my card. This is 16 count fiber on a whim stream is my blue color. I haven't started the neutral piece down below. It's going to be fog, but this is stream and I just love it. I got a lot of stitching on this during the retreat, and I'll tell you when I was stitching this one a little bit later during story time, but here it is. It's so fantastic. So I'm almost to the point. See, right now I'm just doing the white. So I'm going to fill in the cobblestone house with some white, and then you got to fill in the blocks. It's coming together slowly but surely. Okay, so I'll just tell you as I put this away. So leaving the retreats. I'm over to leaving Stritzy retreats. Yeah, it's a bummer. So I'm supposed to fly home Sunday at 5 p.m. I'm leaving Michigan and I go 10 a.m. on Sunday. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I get a text from American Airlines saying, your flight's been canceled. Thanks. Have fun with that. I'm sorry, what? Yeah. So the moral of the story is I didn't come home. I spent an extra day in Michigan. Yay, beautiful town in the fall. I made the best of it. I'll show you some of the things I did during that, but I was stitching I ended up sitting in the airport on Monday for almost 5 hours. And so that is when I didn't get that. Could you try again? My watch wants to know the story. So that is when Pumpkin House, because I didn't need lighting. It was 16 count. It's beautiful. Like airport lighting worked. Anyway, so that's when I got that stitch. That's that story. Let's see, what else do I have to share with you regarding stitching? Okay, here's the other pieces. I knew I had bought another one, so let me just show you. Let me take it off the hoop. Ooh, breaking the rules. This is a gorgeous piece. This is a tiny piece. This was 40 count. Toasted almond fabrics by Stephanie that I picked up. So yeah, when you're there and there wasn't a huge selection of 36 count, there was, but we went shopping late because we went to lunch first because we were all a little hungry. So by the time we got there, the 36 count was pretty picked over. But that's okay. I got a couple pieces and then I got a 40 count. So I had this new start that I had brought. Did I start this there? I think I pretty much did. So this was a new start at the retreat. Beautiful Talon Emblem Cardinal. Now, I love a good Cardinal. Now, this chart measures 87 by 87 as is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the words out and just do this box part. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the size is going to be, but the moral of the story is on 40 count, it's going to be an adorable ornament. So that's where I am with that. That's my goal. And of course, it's linen, so it is a hot, wrinkled mess. And it was in the hoop. And so I know I know that my friend Shellie is like slapping my wrist right now if she could, because she's like, don't leave your linen in the hoop. I know, but I was going to stitch it again. But here it is. Here's my cute little Cardinal. Is he not adorable? So I did a full, as I always do. I'm changing the colors on him. But he is adorable. I was going to say it's a she, but no, the pretty cardinals are he's. Interesting. So I'm changing the colors on this. It's called for a whole bunch of DMCs. But instead of doing a whole bunch of DMCs to create the color movement, I chose extra variegated overdyes. So you can see like in this wing, there's probably like 7 or 8 different colors. No, I think I did 2 or 3. And the same thing with this bird body is, 4 or 5 colors. And I'm like, no, we're going to do 2. So I will do a project tracker card and show y'all what I did. This is my hot mess of colors. Hot mess. I just kitted this up a while ago at my LNS. Just went to the Weeks Dye Work wall and picked out some reds and pinks and greens, using the color cover photo as my inspiration and going from there. So that was my new start on 40 count. Oh, can you imagine? This is 100% fresh eyes, halo glow needed, all the things, slow and steady. And I'm getting it done. And I think it's going to be the sweetest. I mean, these stitchers are small. I don't have my stitching glasses on right now, my super extra readers, because I can't even begin to see these X's. That's why you need like triple magnification. But if you have the right tools, which is magnification and magnification, and oh yeah, add another set of magnification. I'm the one with the glasses and the magnifier, but then I can see it. I can't do anything else because I don't have the headlamp one. I auditioned one of those when I was at StitchCon, but I have not pulled the trigger. Another one that I've been stitching on this week, just because it's in the same, why I have Christmas in a mini keeper from Halloween. It's kind of just, when you travel, when I was traveling, I brought 2 keepers. I brought one big keeper, one full-size project keeper, and one mini keeper. In my full-size, I had 3 big girls. Now, I only stitched on 1. Why I thought I needed to bring 3, I'm not quite sure. But I brought 3, only touched the one, Miss Harriot. And then in my mini keeper, I had 4 mini projects, just in case. You just never know what you're going to want to do. And I think I worked on the Cardinal, and the pumpkin house, maybe a little bit. But that was what was in my mini keeper. So that is why Cardinal is in the mini keeper. Still, I haven't unpacked and reorged my stitching in its welcome home bag. But I also worked on this sweet chart that my friend Sarah sent to me. She's so sweet. So this was I love fall most of all. She started this a while ago and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that chart. Where do I get it? And she's like, oh, don't buy it. I already get it to you. You are just the sweetest. And so I didn't get too much work done on him, but slowly I would love, look, I got the 2 stripes of orange that are ready for just fill-in, and you know how I love a fill-in. So I'm just working on some of that. I did, again, a floss conversion to some Forbidden Fiber Co's and some Color and Cottons that I have. So this was just a pull from stash. Look, stitch in your stash. Kind of pull from stash based on the cover photo. That's my favorite way of doing a color conversion, really, is I just look at the cover photo and I go to my wall and I'm like, okay, so I need some greens. Let's see which green. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, I need some pink. No, or some orange. There's no pink in here. I mean, really, let's be honest. I stitch a lot of pink, but there's no pink in this one. This is orange. It actually is the called for pumpkin patch. So I must have just had it. I do try if I have the called for on my wall and I think it matches. So, you know, we've talked about this before. There's a lot of times when it's the called for color, like with Blackbird, vintage Blackbird, and they call for a color. I can't even think of a color. They call for a color and I pull it and I'm like, that looks nothing like the cover. I got no problem at all putting that right back on the wall and pulling a color from my wall that looks like the cover photo, because that's what attracted me to the design in the first place was, well, the picture or the model, but either way, it's the actual stitching, not the word of the color that was changed. Anywho, that's my little PSA for the moment. So those are the colors I have. Ooh, it looks pretty. So, you know, slowly but surely, like I said, I just wanted to show you some stitching. I feel like I'm going to be all over the place. So I have a couple more stitching projects and then we'll have one more story. Okay, so, you know, we're chugging right along. Either I'm talking super speed fast and you have to like put me on slow-mo, or I'm just not as chatty with who knows. Anyway, let's do a little story. Okay, so at the retreat, they did, I feel like there's something in here, but there's not. They did a raffle. Like, so as one of the things they did on Saturday night, there was a smalls exchange. I did not participate in the smalls exchange. It was just a little too much for me to get together. I got a lot going on. So I opted out. I just enjoyed watching everything. And the best thing, my favorite part of it was like our table went either last or second to last to go and pick from the table. And Nicole's sitting next to me and she was like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm kind of, you know, I'm excited. It was her first retreat. She was all nervous. And she went and she came back and she had Jessica's. I mean, it was hilarious. First of all, it was fantastic. Like, you need to go and see it because it was the cutest needlebook ever. Like, adorable. And that she did. I think she showed her finish. Jessica did on Sweetwater a couple videos ago. Before the retreat, she showed you what her smalls exchange was. In person, cat's pajamas, people. It was awesome. But they also, so Saturday night was the smalls exchange, and then there also was the raffle. And so you bought raffle tickets and all the money went to, it was Chantel's brilliant idea. I loved it. Some of the prizes were donated, like Kathy donated one, Stephanie donated some fabric, Tammy Blaylock donated one of her retreat bags, super cute. And then Chantel purchased a couple, numerous raffle prizes, raffle prizes. And so it was, I mean, fantastic. I just, like I said, top notch, Chantel's Retreat. I mean, above and beyond. So she bought raffle tickets. So $1 a ticket, whatever. So it's just fun. So it was all going to Kathy's Special Olympics. So she has a very, you know, she's very connected with the Special Olympics. And so it was all going for Kathy to take to her chapter. So it's fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so she's calling, you pull the thing. Guess who won a raffle? This girl. I mean, it was crazy. It was so exciting. So what you had to do is you buy your tickets. And so she had, I'm going to say 10 prices. I don't remember exactly, but there were 10 prices, let's just say. And she had bags, bowls, some kind of container in front of each of those 10 items. And so you can put your tickets in one, or you can put your tickets and sprinkle them in all of them. You could do whatever you wanted to with your tickets. And so I think I had 50 tickets or so. And I was like, I'm going to put all my tickets in one. Well, listen, I wasn't the only one. I think she raised almost $3,500, $3,200, over 3,000 tickets were in these 10 buckets. And so there was a lot of people. And I was like, it's just so fun. But I put all my tickets in one basket. So then, to be honest, I only had to pay attention and look through all my things during one thing. And it was my favorite thing. I was like, I'm just going to, odds. Have the odds be in your favor, right? Yes, I won. Never in my life have I won a raffle. So exciting. And of course, if you know, you know, I put all my tickets in the Tula Pink. Rock Baby Scissors makes this. This isn't a by Annie pattern. I forget what she calls this. It's kind of like the retreat bag that I've made, right? So that's a by Annie pattern too. That's my 12-hour bag, if we remember, right? I didn't bring it, but it took me 12 hours to make. So I knew, as a sewer and a maker of said things, I knew the amount of time that would go into making said carry-all, catch-all. I forget what she calls this pattern, but either way, it's adorable. And of course, it's pink. And it's the Tula Pink. It's her Nightshade line that just came out. It was just re-released in the last month or two. I have a couple bolts of it. Haven't even opened it yet. But so cute. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 zipper pockets to hold all your little trinkets and tools and things and fun. I mean, first of all, as a sewer, I can totally appreciate the time and effort that went into this. And I was just blown away. So I can't wait to use my new little, I won it at Chantel's Pep Rally carry-all thing. It's adorable. Isn't that exciting? I was just floored. So I won that at the retreat. It was so much fun. All right. So I got another stitching for you. I'm trying to think. There's stitching over there. I wonder what's in that one. Way over there. But this is the one that's right here. Okay, so this is a fun one. This is a style that I'm doing with my friend Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher, and I. Listen, Miss Jane Parsons is all over the gram. If you don't know, Shellie introduced me to her. So this is the Wishing Thorn. The Wishing Thorn is a website, is Brigitte, I think is how you pronounce her name. She has a website, and I will link it down below. And she sells reproduction samplers. So she recharges them, and then she either sells them as just the charts, or she kits them up. But not only does she just kit them up, it's like regular, but she kits them up uniquely with either wool threads or the very in fashion right now, everybody's trying to get their hands on flower threads. Still haven't gotten my hands on any flower threads. But it's coming one day. Because when I saw Shellie share this, I feel like it was in February. It could have been April. A while ago, I got on the wait list for the Wishing Thorn. And then it finally came in. And I don't even remember when I started this. Sometime. But this is... Okay, yeah. Let me take it out, guys. Let me take it out. So this is Miss Jane Parsons, 1841. This is the sweetest little sampler. Like, it's going to stitch up lickety-split. Let me tell you the back. Count 140 by 159. Like, I can't even call this a big girl. She's just a little baby toddler, and she's gonna be adorable. But I got mine kitted up with the wool threads because after Shellie was raving on Shellie's Antique Needleworkers, in case you didn't know, like I said, link down below. But she was raving on about these wool threads, and I was like, hold on a hot minute. What the heckadoodle? So these are the wool threads. So fun. And so this is how it comes in the kit. And there's a whole, I have this was in my April Keeper Club box, but I just thought it was a perfect little bag to go in my bag to keep all my wool threads safe and sound. And so I had to buy, because you're using wool threads, this is a 24 needle. I didn't have any of those in stash, so I just popped up to Michael's because this was at an hour where my LNS is not open. They're only open from like 10 to 2, like 3 days a week or something. It's really odd. I get it, but so I just popped up to Michael's to get a number 24 tapestry needle. But so that's where I have some of my threads, and then you need a needle threader. Anywho, let me just show you the progress. So there's a Sal. Jane Parsons Sal. That's it. Karen from the Recovering Monogamous Stitcher. She was starting this for her sampler September. Okay, here's another thing where I've got the hoop on. I swear I was stitching on this yesterday. I don't know. I'm bad. I don't use a hoop. When I stitch Ada, I stitch in hand, no hoop. But with linen, I feel like I need hoops. Now I don't, it's not taught because I don't go up and down. I still do the sewing method, but anywho, let me take it out of the hoop. So this is as far as I've gotten, and it's on the wool thread. So this is 28 count. Let me tell you how big. So, it's the hardest thing to reference. So this left to right is only 10 inches wide. So she's going to be a sweet little thing. Now I am going to show you. Now I remember what happened. This was a couple mornings ago. So this was my morning stitch a couple mornings ago. I don't have a morning stitch every morning because right now, unfortunately, after being gone for 2 weekends in a row, my to-do list is bonkers awesome. So what has to go? My morning stitch. But I did give myself, because I got up early. So it's like, I can do 2 threads before I start. Before I go in the studio, I don't need to go sewing before 6 a.m. I don't need to, that's my rule. So if I can get up before 6, then I can get a little stitching time in. Anywho, so I was working, I did this. I don't remember what I was doing, but then I came over here and I did this. And can you see? This flower is running into that. So what does that tell me? You guessed it, friends. I counted wrong somewhere. Thank goodness I didn't go too far with the border because listen, I'm a big fudger. I'm not a big frogger. I'm a big fudger. But because I'm not that far along, see this little row right here? This is correct. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have to double check is the moral of the story. But I'm pretty sure that I did not mess up these. That's a hard thing to mess up. That seems pretty like rinse and repeat. So I don't know, somewhere along the way, because this flower stem is there's no room for the flower. The stem is running into this border. And that is no. So I'm thinking this brown little notch was supposed to go over a couple stitches. I don't know. It's 28 count, so it should have been easy peasy to... I don't know how I messed it up. I didn't investigate. At some point when I realized, well, fudge, my flower bud is going to run into the thing. So, okay, see like over here. See over here, there's the flower bud, and then there's the thing. That's supposed to be over here, but the flower bud is running. Yeah, no good. So somewhere there's a counting error. So, I'm not putting Miss Jane in time out, but she is going to have to think about what she's done for a little bit because it's going to have to take a little concentrated effort to figure out what I've done. So the last little story time about the retreat is, if you remember, during the video before, I did a call out for ICU Quilts. Now, my sweet friend Holly, Hobbies of Holly on Instagram, and her grandson Graham, they were doing these ICU quilts. And so I had put out a call to anyone who was coming to the retreat saying, listen, if you're a quilter, beginner quilter, advanced quilter, whatever kind of quilter you are, and you have time to make a quilt top, and here are the requirements, and bring the quilt top to me at the retreat, and I will turn the quilt top into a finished quilt and ship them all to Holly. Okay, so I went with a half-empty suitcase, not knowing either I was going to fill it with Chantel stuff, which would have been fantastic, or I was going to fill it up with quilts. I was blown away. So I got there. First night, Thursday night, I'm sitting in the hotel lobby stitching, and sweet friends came up and just gifted me. So many sweet friends gifted me quilt tops. Now, if I did Christine, Candy, Heidi, and Val were 4 women that I was of mind and forethought to ask their names and say thank you. But if you brought me a quilt top, thank you. If I didn't mention your name, I can't wait to put these together. No, so what happened is I ended up 12 of them were finished quilts that were gifted to me. And so I didn't even bring those home. I put them in a separate package. I got the address from Holly, and I've given them to Chantel, and Chantel is shipping those directly to Holly. And so that's 12 quilts that someone had just done the top and the back and all the work for me. So 12. And then in my suitcase, I came home. Well, that's mine. These are mine from before. Hold on. Those are my Dr. Seuss ones that I showed you. I came home with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quilt tops to finish. And so I'm going to finish those this weekend, and my 2. And then my mom has made 2 already. And then I went to the post office, and if you've seen on my Instagram stories, I've shared 2 different stories. I've got 10 boxes. I haven't even opened the boxes. Maybe I'll film that later on today and share it with you guys. But 10 boxes, varying sizes. So there's some that are small that are probably like 1 quilt top, but there's a couple that are bigger, and I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, how many tops are in there? So I'm going to dig into that and just take inventory of what we've got. And of course, I'll let you know next week what the final count was. But I think we're going to hit my goal. My goal, if you remember, was to have 21 quilts. My son turns 21 tomorrow. It's a little, we're not going to be sad about it. I mean, yay. My son turns 21 tomorrow. And so that was my arbitrary number that I came up with, to have at least 21 quilts to send to Holly, like as celebration of my son's birthday, but gifted to these babies. They use them at the ICU Quilts. She explained to me, so what they use them, rather than chuck blankets. Listen, I don't work in the medical field, but it's a way to like move baby. Perfect. Whatever it is. I just like wrapping the babies in homemade love, handmade love. Sounds good to me. Like, I'm so excited about it. That's just something I can do. I mean, I can't even imagine the journey that Holly's daughter for her son, but this is something I could do to help, and I'm excited for it. So far you guys are humming, going out. I got 6, well, 10, including me and my mama's, and then 10 more boxes. So I don't even know how many in there. So we're at 22 already. That's it. So exciting. So I'm excited. And of course, I'll tell you, I'll take some pictures and share with you if I get them off in time. I don't know. It depends on how many I've got, how many days I'm going to be spending putting quilt tops into quilts, but that's okay. I'm excited. I can't wait to do it. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that is really the end of the retreat. And then I got home eventually. That's just the moral of the story. Spent an extra day. I was able to play in Chantel's wood shop on Sunday night. I helped her break down the retreat, and then we might have played with her laser cutter, which was fantastic. Such a fun toy. As a creative person, like I geek out on like learning new things. So we just played with that. I can't show you any of the things that we played with. Spoiler, it might be coming someday. Okay, so that was the retreat. And then I came home, like I said, a day late. So I just hunkered down and got right to it. So then 3 days later, I left for Parents Weekend in Clemson. And so that is why I missed the next Friday. And so I went down. So if you are new here, both I have a son who's going to be 21 and my daughter who is 18. So Noah is a junior. Lily's now a sophomore at Clemson, technically. And, they're down there living their best Clemson life. Go Tigers. And so it was a great weekend. My mom came down with me for the weekend, which was so fun. So she made a road trip with me, which was great because I actually ended up being able to do laptop. I was originally just driving by myself. It's about a 9-hour drive, and I was going down there and just doing all the things. But she's like, do you want me to come? And then we can. And it ended up working out perfect. So I was able to because I lost a day in Michigan, I was able to get a lot of laptop-y work done on the computer while she drove 90% of the time. So it was a lifesaver. And then we had fun when we were down there, and we went antiquing to a couple different shops, and I bought some things. We'll see what am I going to share with you next? Hold on. Okay. So hush, back up. When I was back at the retreat, remember at the retreat, and I told you I had an extra day, and what did I do during those days? Okay, so there's this gorgeous antique mall that Chantel had told me about. Well, I didn't have time to do it during the retreat. There was just too much fun. But here you are. Here's your gift of your extra day in Michigan. So I wandered around this antique mall for I don't know how long. So if you don't know, well, I'm a sucker for vintage stitching. Yes, look at the bonnet girl. First of all, and look at that crocheted edge, tatting edge. I don't know what the edge is. But first of all, the bonnet girls. So I got 2 bonnet girls. Let me see. Yeah, 2 bonnet girls. And then this was another pillowcase set that I just could not pass. Look at that. I'm so excited. I got 2 of those pillowcases. And then look at this sweet finish. Oh, look at that. I don't know if this was supposed to be like a dresser cloth linen. It's just so cute. So this, because of the shape and the orientation, this needs to be a project bag. So I will have to do some of my vintage stitching projects bags. It's been a few minutes since I've done some of those. So these are just some vintage stitchings that I was able to grab when I was in Michigan. I love, now don't worry friends. I saved this edging and try to incorporate it in the keeper that I use it for. If not, I have a whole ribbon wall over there with just vintage edging. Oh, this is a collection that my friend Candy just gifted me on the meet and greet time. She was like, oh, I have some stitching for you. I'm sorry, what? So she's so sweet. So Candy brought me this vintage stitching. I love this pink, this peachy. And then she's like, of course, it's orange. So I immediately thought of you. Beautiful set of, I don't even know how many linens, little, would you really use that as a napkin? I mean, and wipe your like spaghetti mouth on this? It's amazing. It's amazing. And then look at the beautiful roses. So this was all, oh, I didn't even see this one. This was all from my sweet friend Candy that she brought me. So Candy brought me a bag of vintage stitching and a quilt top for my ICU friends. Oh, so this is such a cute little stitch. And then look at those. Look at those little stitches. Oh, it's like French knots galore. So fun. Oh, that's a pretty one. It's wide. I wonder if it's too wide for a keeper. It might be another contender for a project bag. It is too wide for a keeper because I wouldn't want to orient it this way. So pretty, pretty, pretty. So that was some of the vintage stitching that I picked up in Williamston. All right, so now we've got a little bit of haul and stitchy kindness and fun, fun, fun. I do have some some antique haul to show you for now I was in Clemson, but let's do some stitching haul first. So what came while I was away? Oh my goodness. Now my friend Felicia, the fanciful flamingo, has started 2 things. Why do one when you can do 2, girlfriend? She started a subscription box and it is a bi-monthly. So every other month you get this box of goodness, and it is called the Fanciful Flamingo's Favorite Things. And the first, it's a pink box. So who doesn't love to receive? You know that I'm keeping this pink box. I'm just gonna have a collection. I hope they're all pink. Are they all gonna be pink? They need to be pink. I'm just gonna have a whole shelf of them. Use them little storage boxes. So this was Alicia's box, and it comes, like I said, every other month. Now, if you're watching this on Friday, lucky you, because pause right now. Down below is a link to go and grab the winter box. The winter box sale ends Friday the 22nd. And then if you're watching this after Friday, I know, I'm sorry, you missed it. There'll be another one after that. You can probably still go to that link and get on the wait list for the next one. But this is a pre-order situation. So the winter box, so exciting. It's winter themed. No, Christmas themed. Winter, Christmas? I'm pretty sure it's Christmas themed. We're going to go with it. I'm sure she's got details. I will link her down below. She's definitely talked about it, and I should have pinged her. Pickles to Betsy. Anywho, It's fantastic. Let me show you the October, the fall, the autumn box that came while I was away, right? So let me show you. So first of all, it's Alicia's favorite things. So it includes 10 things in this box. Bonkers. Sweet exclusive chart, Halloween pumpkin patch. Is that not adorable? Look at those Quaker pumpkin things. So sweet. Pickles. It doesn't have the 70 by 91. Yay, I found it. Okay, so you get the chart. Check. This adorable, look at the flamingo on the thread drop. Okay. I had plans of having my DMC on said thread drop to show you, because I also brought this to Clemson to start. It didn't happen. I'm too busy, but I do want to get this started. I think it would stitch. It's such a sweetie, tiny little thing. I think it would stitch up super quick. There's an adorable fall, happy fall, y'all sticker. I love a good sticker. I put stickers on my little magnet board that's my retreat board. Love it. She made counting pins. These are made by sweet Alicia. Oh, so cute. And then of course her favorite Jolly Ranchers. Love that. Sweet. So a spring tension hoop. I've never tried one of these, but now that I am a adventurous, sometimes linen stitcher, with, having an extra hoop is never a bad thing. First of all, where do you get flamingo paper clips? Of course I kept it. She's got these cute little bag tags to go on the bag that you think. There's an exclusive chart with the flamingo I can't show you. And then the finishing fabric. So cute. Oh, and then last but not least, I'm not going to show you this, but on the other side of this adorable card is the exclusive Zoom stitch along with the designer and the people that got this box. So it's a 8 p.m. Eastern on a date, and you get to like Zoom stitch with all the friends that got the box and the designer and all the things. That's just all part of the box. It's adorable. So I'm super excited about the fall box. I definitely want to get that stitched up and finished and out in my pumpkin displays, which I need to work on too. Oh, but so cute. So like I said, grab her autumn or her winter / Christmas. I'm pretty sure it's Christmas box. Like, get on it. It's so cute. Now, the other thing she was doing is her Stitch Florida retreat. Now, last time I talked to her, which was a couple days ago, there were about 10 spots left. So I'll link it down below in case there's like spots left, but if not, get on the wait list, because as we all know, people like plans change and things, but it's going to be great fun next July 25, 26, 27. So fun. And last but not least, I was watching her Flosstube and she was talking about, first of all, her and Jessica are doing this 24 and 24 idea, which was part of Pam or Steph, I forget which one, but I'm definitely going to do a version of 24 and 24. Now, Jessica's twisting it. She hasn't quite decided, so I'm kind of waiting to see. But Alicia's doing 24 new starts in 24. Well, that sounds fun. And just the fun of kitting up and doing all the things. Now, when am I going to start the things? I don't know. But okay, I'm here for the fun. Let's do that. But I think Jessica's she's considering taking it even further, doing 24 new starts and 24 whips. That girl, she's crazy town. Or she's going to do 12 and 12. We still got time. It's only September. But the moral of the story is, as I was watching her and I was like, ooh, 24 and 24, that's something to noodle. Like, I'm going to noodle that. We'll see how it's all going to come together. I like it. I'm here for a good #Sal. Do stitch along, do all the things. Okay. But it's also Alicia's birthday. And so she was showing her birthday start. And I'm a sucker for birthday starts. Listen, I was like, okay. And then she showed what she was stitching. Now, of course, this is not a new chart. Let me take it out of the plastic chart. This is not a new chart. It has been around for a while. But when she pointed out, listen, it's like she was speaking to my soul. Actually, she did call me out in the Flosstube. And I was like, I had never thought about that. And now I 127% have to stitch that chart. the Rose and the Giant Pear. She was calling me out because she's like, Tiger Lily, she loves those birds. And I just talked about that on Harriot, how when a bird is as big as the house, and she's like, look, this pear is as big as the house. Yes, it is. And that is awesome. I just love it. These girls stitch, seriously, a pear and a house, same size. Sure, let's just do that. So this is Alicia's birthday start, which is today. Happy birthday. So that's exciting. I need to finish getting this up so I can get a stitch in before the night's done. Okay, so if I stitch this on 36 count or 18 count, whichever, I haven't picked the fabric yet. That's the moral of the story. I got the chart and I got the floss. Let me show you the floss. I'm treating myself to something fun, something new I haven't done. I'm so excited. But the moral of the story is this is the tiny little thing. On 36 count, 18 count, this is 3 by 6 inches. By 9 by 8, 3 by 6. Like this book is 5.5 inches. That's as big as this little, this is going to stitch up lickety split. Like no big deal. Anywho, love it. So this is Alicia's birthday start. I don't know if she has a hashtag. I know Jessica's doing it with us. Of course, Alicia's birthday, all the things. So, but as she was talking about it, it's charted in a whole slew of colors, like 3, 6, 9, 10, 20 colors for this little tiny thing. Yes. Wow. That's a lot. Maybe it's 18. Counting's hard. Could be 18. Lots of colors. So DMC, Overdyed, 103, 103s. Whew. Lots of things. I don't know why I thought this was a good, but it's going to be great. So what I decided is I don't even remember when I bought this. It was one of those happy moments, pause, go add to cart type of moments. If I had thought about it and realized this was 20 colors, 18, I might not have done it, but why not? It's going to be great. I have never tried Vicki Clayton silks. So I ordered the Vicki Clayton silk conversion for the Rose and the Giant Pear. So it came, the colors are bright and fun. I've never used it. I'm super excited to use it. My main silk, so I've never tried any of the Swattage, all those gobbledygoops silks. The silks I have tried. Let's just talk about that. I've tried 2 silks. I have Mauve silk. Super fan of Mauve silk, except for it's hard to, you just have that's not a consistent color situation, right? So that's you buy the monthly sale. I have quite a stash. I can pull from it. It's great for me personally, except for when I want to share with you, like, hey, I used Mauve silk called Bubblegum. You can't go and get that color. So it's kind of hard. Like I personally, like I've stitched for me, but I am thoughtful of helping you and sharing with you. And so I'm torn now with using Mauve silk too much because you can't use it. And so that kind of makes me sad that you can't go and like get her bubblegum or whatever. There's a lot of pink over there. So that's my one silk. And then I also have gotten the Miss Sadis from Spain, and I did the Hello from Liz Matthews 12 Days of Christmas color conversion on that. It's on 14 count, and so that's just like gobbling up my silk. So that might not have been the smartest way to do silk, but that's at least one you can get. It takes a while to get over on the slow boat from Spain, but so I am considering that. So I thought this is something that she's in Pennsylvania. Well, that's excited. And so this came real quick and it was ready to go. And so I'm excited to try this floss. Now, because Alicia was talking about MPIs. I've never bought MPIs. And she was going to chart it for something else. But it's like $6 or skein or something. That's pretty pricey. I love a good overdyed. Listen, I don't know. Anywho, this is what I'm doing. Rose in the Giant Pear. I'm super excited to start it for Alicia's birthday. I just need to pick some fabric. No problem. That's why you have a stash, isn't it? Speaking of stash, let's see what else I got. So stash time. Adding to my collection time. So when I went to Etsy to find the rose, the giant, the pear, the chart to buy, as I was having a shop from my couch moment, I went to Etsy, found Hollis Hands Creates, great, fantastic shop. But of course, a chart can't travel alone. Like, I feel like that's against some cardinal rule. And so as I was in her shop, I was like, well, let's just see what is there that should travel with said chart. Maybe it could be the fabric for the chart. Well, let me show you what I got. Yes, I got some fabric. It's fun. This, I've never stitched on Fox and Rabbit. So this is Fox and Rabbit Desert Taipan. Maybe that. Oh. So I think one of these is going to be the rose and the giant pear. I feel like, the only thing I've ever stitched on linen has been a little tiny ornament, and I'm okay with that. It's a great, like, toes in the water. But that pear one, remember, is only like this big. So maybe that's like my next baby step. We'll see. So I got that one. And then I got this one's another Fox and Rabbit Mayflower. Super pretty. So you can see them next to each other. So that's always fun. Let me fold them because the fold lines are pretty much in there. And then this one is R&R. Never stitched with R&R. You just hear all these names, right? And this is called Espresso 36. So these are all little tiny fat quarters, or I think that's the fat quarters. Yeah, 13. I don't know. But these are the 3 colors that I got. Ooh, let's look. I'll have to do a little floss toss with my Vicky Claytons and see which one. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the R&R. Mayflower is nice. I don't think it's this one. So I just have to make sure that the pear colors are going to show up. I don't want the pear to like get washed out. The pear's a little golden. Anyway, those are some of the things that I added to stash because I couldn't have the chart travel alone, right? So that's super fun. So the other thing that I have gotten this week in stash is, no, this is not stash. This is Stitchy Kindness. So my sweet friend Shellie, she sent me a box of goodness. I was floored. Like, I mean, she just shares so much with me. And so it was just beautiful. She was like, listen, if you're going to start with linen, you need to have a little, you need to have an assortment package to pull from so you can know. Because as we know, in the worlds of neutral shades of brown, there's about 3,027 colors. And if you're going to floss toss, having a stash is perfect. So the main reason, the box started with I was stitching with a hoop that Liz had gifted me at StitchCon. And it was a 4 or 5 inch hoop. Because yes, this is 4. It was a 5-inch hoop. Beautiful. Loved it. It was fantastic. But Shellie was explaining to me that sometimes, because I was saying, well, sometimes it gets a little heavy. I'm not used to holding a hoop. I stitch in hand. So there's the weight of the hoop. You don't even think about it, but the hoop weighs something. And I don't have a stand and all that stuff. So I was just like, she's like, well, no, you need to try this 4-inch hoop because the 4-inch hoop just sits right in the crooked. So anyway, she sent me this beautiful vintage hold tight 4-inch hoop. So I'm so excited. This is life-changing. Like I explained to you, I'd still do the sewing method on my linen in a hoop. I just feel like my stitches look pretty on point, if I do say so. So that is my method. Right or wrong, it's what I do. Beautiful, beautiful cord. She loves butterflies. So sweet little card. And then I want to show you the fabrics, only because I know that I enjoy, because when I'm watching Flosstube, sometimes I sit there and I have a running list. Do you have a running list? I have a running list of, ooh, that's a pretty fabric. Ooh, that's a pretty, it's hard fabric shop. I have an LNS, luckily. It's usually not super stocked in their fabric. That's more of a needlepoint shop. I mean, anywho, moral of the story is I enjoy seeing fabrics online and on the TV screen and on the iPad and showing the different colors and comparing them. So that way you can see like, ooh, that's a golden brown. Ooh, that's a more dirty brown. It's not dirty, but you know what I mean? So I just want to show you. And she sent me a beautiful collection of so many hand dyers I have never even heard of. Like the ones Fox and Rabbit. We've all heard of Fox and Rabbit, right? R&R, we've all heard of R&R. But the Shellie assortment that she sent me was a lot of dyers that I've never heard of. Now, whether that is because they're vintage, or whether it's because they're new and small and I love it. So it just, maybe you're going to find somebody that you don't know either. So check it out. So the good thing is, let me just show you some. So this is tropicalstitches.com. Never heard of it. 36 count honey beach sand. Okay, so we're going to use my board just because it's fun. It's not going to be real quick, but in case you want to see just some, ooh, so this is definitely like a chocolate brownie, but the modeling is gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's called Honey Beach Sand. 36 count, tropicalstitches.com. Never heard of them. Garibaldi's Needleworks. Garibaldi's Needleworks.com. Ooh, this is a beautiful, I would describe this as like a pumpkin meets caramel. Now, let's see. I don't know. It's definitely pumpkin meets caramel. Whether that's how it's showing up, I don't know. But it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And that was this is 32 count. Oh, I think it's my first piece of 32. That's exciting. Oh, I got to put it back in the bag or, I'm never going to be able to look at a linen and know if it's 32 or 36 or 34 because I ordered a mystery package from Color and Cotton and they don't, like it was a scrap bag type of situation and they don't label them. Awesome. I mean, the fabric's gorgeous, but I, as a new stitcher, I have no idea if it's 32, 36, 40, 46, 30, 28. 28 I feel like I can look at. This is 32 R&R called Mayflower Mocha. That is just a beautiful, almost like vintage country mocha, but without the vintage modeling. So that's a beautiful piece of R&R. Look at that cute little label. Little stitching girl. She's adorable. This is a piece of even weave, like this gorgeousy gray. It's not labeled, so I'm not going to tell you. Oh, here's a 32 count vintage country mocha Belfast. So this is vintage country mocha 32. Gorgeous. Ooh, okay. Then XOXO fabric of the month. Who knew they have a fabric of the month club? This is Old Turquoise. Oh, this 36 count Old Turquoise. Oh my goodness. That is gorgeous. Listen, it's fabric of the month, so I'm sorry if you can't get it, but that is a beautiful color. Oh, such a soft, I'd call it like a baby blue, really. Beautiful. I've never stitched on XOXO before. XJU. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I've heard it said both different ways. XJU, like just calling out the letters, or not. And then there's this beautiful, look at her. She's just like, you can do this. 46 count from Hobby Lobby, I'm thinking. Zweigart Oat Bristol. Just, okay. a 32 count. Ooh, this is a pretty, it's kind of like a purpley grayish. Ooh, lovely. It's called Shale, 32 count Shale. And that's from 123. And then, oh, Shepherd's Bush, 28 count. 28 count, picture this, plus Tycho. I love Tycho on Ada. I love it. So that's from Shepherd's Bush. So cute. So that was the tremendously, I can't even, package assortment from Miss Shellie. So she also sent me this sweet, so if you remember, I was Dorothy Sampler, right? Orangina, struggling with it. And she's like, listen, cobbled peach, it's my favorite. I can't wait to pull out to see it. It looks like exactly the peachy color in that Orangina. So it's going to be the perfect substitute if I can't find it. So I'm super excited for that, to throw that in my Dorothy Sampler bag. And then last but not least, she sent me a full kit. Now this was from Stitch North? I think it's Stitch North. She told me. But look at this sweet Sing After the Storm. Look at those birds. They're so pretty. Look at all the colors on the bird. So it was a full kit with 36 count Sing After the Storm fabric. And I've never stitched with Roxy Floss, Leon Roxy. So this was back when they were Leon Roxy, not just Roxy Flossco. All the Roxy Flossco overdyes. I've never started, so I cannot wait. So she got one too. We're gonna do a little stitch along. So that's super fun. I think that was an exclusive, like I said, for Stitch North. I don't know if, so that's an Evertote situation. And so I will link their website down below. I think you can get that probably sometime after the fact. And then last but not least, she sent me this sweet, we're doing a quilt along. And so this was a sweet label that she made for the back of our quilts. And we're making, it's this layer cake quilt. I think I'm the only one who's switching fabrics out of the ones on the back of the label. Everyone else is using this beautiful cheddar, I forget, by Moda Laundry, Bonnie, I forget. It's a very beautiful, beautiful fabric collection. And I think, Katie has finished hers, Ginger's finished hers, Tina has finished hers. Shellie hasn't started hers, so I don't feel bad yet. But because my fabric just came in and I am not doing that colorway. I have never sewn with a layer cake before. I like some fabric. Don't get me wrong. I can get some fabric, but I got this beautiful Liberty. Love Liberty. I was like, okay, layer cake. I'm going to try it. So when I think of fall, of course I think of oranges too, but I also think of these purples and plums and mauves. And so listen, I made it my own. So this beautiful layer cake of Liberty fabrics. I'm excited to make this layer cake quilt. I will link it down below. It's this cute, and it looks like it's going to piece together lickety split. So that is my fabric haul to make the quilt. When that is going to happen, I don't know. So sometime. All right, friends. So I have one more thing I want to share with you. I do want to say a huge thank you to 4 friends who have utilized my Buy Me a Coffee link down below to support the channel and also to help with the giveaways from my extravaganza where I gave away like 10 big boxes of good stuff. So Georgette, Pamela, Lynn, and Sharon, thank you so much for your donations. It totally helped with shipping all those goodies. All but one has been claimed. So I'm going to give that person one more episode to check, to one more time to check it out, because it's a good one. It's the Mini Keeper. Have you watched that video to make sure it's not you? If not, go back and watch it. The Mini Keeper has not been claimed. So I'm still waiting for my friend, the winner of the Mini Keeper. I did not go and check the name to come and tell you again, because you got to watch that one. So hopefully it gets claimed. If it doesn't get claimed by next week, maybe I'll pull a new winner. We shall see. Ooh, stomach. I need to eat some breakfast. So friends, that's where I'm going to stop today. I have haul galore. Let me show you one thing, because it's sitting right here. So this I got at a quilt store an antique store right outside of Clemson in Anderson, South Carolina. I mean, first of all, look, I fell out of my chair. So I'm sitting there texting with Shellie, and I'm like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh my gosh. So this is beautiful. This is all EPP, Hexes, all hand done. Gorgeous. There are some spots where it's, needs some love. So I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with it. I had an idea when I was in the shop. But right now, looking at it even more closely, I'm not quite sure I can do what I wanted to do with it, because it just is so, so pretty. But I got this for a song, in my opinion, at the quilts, or at the antique mall in Anderson. And then I'm going to show you one more thing, because it's fun. And that way I can put it away, because that's half my problem. I came home and I've got buckets. I still have 2 more boxes of things, but we're going to stop it off here because I'm already at movie length, and it'll be more for next week. Are you excited? I'm excited. But I had like 3 boxes of things that I had to share with you, and then I can't put it away until I do. Like, struggle. The struggle is real. So let me get one more thing, and then I'm going to show you, and then we're going to wrap it up. And I promise I'll be back next week. I got nowhere to go, because trust you me, I got to be in the studio sewing like it's my job. Oh, wait, it is. So last but not least, remember I told you that my mom came down with me and we went antiquing in Anderson, which is about 20-30 minutes away from Clemson. We were down there for a couple days. So we got to see Noah, got to see Lily, got to go to the football game. It was a night game, so that was super fun. I have clips for the game. I recorded a video to share with you, but really we're already at movie length, so I'm not going to show you. It's fantastic. If you've never been to Death Valley in Clemson, it's a whole experience. And a night game is a whole nother experience. Fireworks and shows and light shows and all things. So much fun. And I was so thankful to have my mom there with me. And we had like a fun little girls weekend. And so we might have been working in the studio. Oh, side note. So of course, we're driving down there and I'm bringing stitching and knitting. So that's what I'm not showing you today. There's a whole knitting portion of the program that is not happening today. Next week, get excited. I've got knitting galore. This is where we're stopping. And so I had knitting and stitching and laptop. Oh my. And then I also, just for funsies, brought 2 things. Because I'm like, well, we're going to be sitting in the hotel room. And the October box goes out in T-minus like a month, and I gotta put all this. So we ended up doing box work, not sewing, but some of the goodies that are going in the box needed to get to, like, presentation matters. So yes, I take my work on the road, friends. But so we were doing all that, and so we had fun. That's more a story. But when we were coming home, when you're going down, it's like you're excited and you're going, and the drive doesn't seem so long when you're going down because you're excited. But when you're coming home, sometimes, and there was traffic, and sometimes that 8-hour, 9-hour drive can become a 10 or 11-hour drive, or your butt starts to hurt. Let's just be real. So somewhere on 81, my mom was like, maybe we should find somewhere to stop, just to like walk around and stretch out a little bit. So we did. We found in Staunton, Virginia, which neither one of us have ever gone off the road more than just like, hey, here's the Chick-fil-A. We went off the road. It was about 5 miles off the road. I'm sitting there Googling. I found an antique mall. So we wandered around the antique mall. So many things. I'm a sucker for a good antique mall. We do not have them here, like in my bubble. Or if we do, for some reason, as with everything, I think in Northern Virginia, you just add a 0. Like, really? No. Anywho, so I'm walking around and I see this and it's on the floor and I'm like, what the heck? Now, take reference. This is my beautiful, my pink sewing machine. This is a 1950s Atlas. So it is a beautiful, now it's covered. It's metal, which is why it's covered in needle minders. But it is a functioning vintage 1951, I think, pink Atlas sewing machine. But it works like a dream. Now, I do not have another tabletop surface to put said functioning sewing machine on. Otherwise, I would have her set up to sew with. I totally could sew with her, but right now she just is pretty on my shelf. So I love a good pretty on my shelf sewing machine. Well, can you guess what I bought? Yeah, I bought another pretty on my shelf sewing machine because it did have a tag on it that says for parts only. It doesn't even have a plug. I was thinking, does it work? It doesn't even have a plug. So not yet. Not a sewing machine, but it's pretty. Now, it weighs an ever-loving ton. So let's see. Now, it's a Majestic. It is not a Singer, which is, but it was just so pretty. And of course, so it's not pretty right this second. It's still covered in dust and grime and probably 100 years worth of dirt. Yeah. So, and we'll have to... Good thing it's not touching anything. It's not supposed to. But I'm going to clean her up and she's going to get on maybe my other shelf. I'll do a little rearranging. So she's just so pretty. And I just want, a song. So I have no problem paying a song for pretty studio vintage. I'm going to try to do some research, at least to figure out like what year this machine is. Maybe 1927. There's a date right there, friends. Oh my goodness. It's going to be her birthday someday soon. She's crushing it at 97. Look at that. That's so fun. Oh, beautiful. I love it. It's that saying, they don't make them like they used to. This one doesn't work, but beautiful. So that is my haul. And that is where I'm going to leave you today. So hopefully you enjoyed the Tiger Lily movie. Welcome. I promise I will go back to regular Flosstube Fridays and they won't be movie length for the most part. But sometimes I chatty. It's just what it is. So I hope you had fun. I had fun catching you up. It's going to take me all daggone day, I think, to put all this stuff away, but that's okay. It was so much fun. I had so much fun at the retreat. I had so much fun at Clemson. I miss coming to talk to you guys. I tried to bring you along for Instagram, but I have the best play plans. And then I just end up getting in the moment and living my life. So anywho, friends, that is what I've got for you today. I will be on the gram sometime soon. That's about it. So I will see you next time, friends. So until then, happy knitting, happy hooking, happy quilting, happy making, happy all the things. And of course, happy stitching.